Welcome to the Bays Mountain Raptor Center today. I am Ranger Bob, and this is Amadahi, our red-shouldered hawk. She is a female red-shouldered hawk that came to us from Georgia. She was hit by a car down in Georgia, had a broken right wing that didn't heal back correctly. You can see it hangs a little bit differently there. And because of that injured wing, she is not able to fly very well. And so she is not able to survive in the wild, and like all of our other birds here at the Bays Mountain Raptor Center, she is a permanent resident here at the Bays Mountain Raptor Center because of her injury. Red-shouldered hawks are a fairly common species here in this area. This is one that's found in mostly wooded areas near water, so swamps and along the forested areas around rivers and lakes and streams here in this area. So they are a fairly common species. As far as what they eat, red-shouldered hawks like to eat mainly small mammals, but they also eat a lot of other animals as well. They'll eat things like frogs and salamanders, snakes and lizards sometimes, small birds on occasion. So they have a pretty broad range in their diet. That's one of the reasons that red-shouldered hawks are so common, is because they will eat just about anything. They're a very broad range of animals that they like to eat. Amadahi gets a little nervous sometimes, a little anxious sometimes, and part of that's because of the wind that's blowing out here today, but also she's a little anxious because there are some crows in the area that are calling. It turns out that crows and raptors are not good buddies for sure. Crows and raptors are mortal enemies. Very often raptors will try to eat crows, but also crows have been known to kill and eat raptors and or the raptors' babies in the nest. So raptors and crows do not get along very well together. As you can see, we have some equipment that we use for when we're handling these birds. And one of the things that you'd first notice is this leather glove that I'm wearing. This keeps her talons from piercing my hand, and also gives her a good firm perching surface, a good comfortable surface for her to perch on. The other thing you may notice is if you look, you can see she has these leather straps on her ankles here. Those are called anklets and jesses. And the jesses act sort of like a collar would for a dog. When you take your dog for a walk, you have to put a collar around their neck, attach a leash, and take them for a walk. With birds, you can't put a collar around their neck, though. So we put these anklets and jesses on their ankles, and that allows us to then attach those jesses to a leash, and then the other end of the leash is attached to the glove, so that if the bird does fly, they can't fly any farther than the length of the jesses most of the time. But even if we lose hold of the jesses, they can't fly any farther than the length of the leash, which is in this case about 2 feet long. So it's a fairly short leash. That allows the birds a little bit of freedom as far as if they get scared, then they can fly around, or they can fly around some. It also allows the birds to adjust their feet so that they have a comfortable perch on your hand. And it also keeps the birds safe as well, keeps them from escaping and becoming injured or starving to death if they were to try to go back, if they did make it back into the wild. If they did escape fully, then the birds might starve to death because of their injuries. Raptors, like red-shouldered hawks, are a diurnal raptor. They are a bird that hunts during the daytime, which is what diurnal means. And because of that, they have certain adaptations that allow them to hunt effectively during the daytime. Number one among those is the fact that they have very sharp eyesight. It's estimated that something like a red-tailed hawk, which is a little bigger than a red-shouldered hawk, it's estimated that red-tailed hawks have an eyesight that's about 5 to 7 times better than a human's. And so they're able to see small prey items from a long distance. So they can see something like a mouse from a few thousand feet in the air, from 1,000 feet or more in the air. So they're able to see very long distances to find their prey. They also use speed to catch their prey. They are able to fly very quickly. Birds like red-tailed hawks are able to hit top speeds of about 120 miles an hour, it's thought. And that allows them to capture their prey before the prey even knows they're there. One of the things you notice about Amadahi here, if you look at her feet, you can see these talons. If you look at Amadahi's feet, you can see the talons. You can see the talons on her toes here. And those talons are what she uses to grasp her prey. Very often those talons are sharp enough and her grip is strong enough that the talons will pierce the prey and kill it instantly. If that doesn't work though, then she can use her sharp curved beak to kill her prey as well. As a normal rule, what these birds will do when they capture their prey is they fly down, extend their feet out in front of them to capture the prey with these sharp talons, and then they will, if it's something small, they will carry that food to a perch where they can eat it in safety, in peace. Or if it's something that's too big for them to fly away with, then they will eat it on the ground. If it's something small enough, they will swallow the prey whole. Remember, they don't have teeth. They can't bite pieces off, or it's very difficult for them to bite pieces off. And so swallowing their prey whole is one way that they eat. But they can also use their feet to hold on. They can also use their feet to hold on to the prey with one foot while they rip pieces of it off with their beak, with that sharp curved beak. And so they're able to eat some much larger prey than they would be able to if they didn't, or if they had to swallow their prey whole all the time. Raptors, like Amadahi here, are also known as birds of prey sometimes, and that's because they are carnivores. They eat other animals. Raptors mostly eat vertebrate animals, animals with backbones, so things like fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. In particular, small mammals are a very popular prey item with many raptors. Raptors are birds of prey. They are carnivores. They eat other animals. But there are lots of birds out there that are carnivores that are not necessarily raptors. Not all meat-eating birds are raptors. So what makes a meat-eating bird a raptor is 3 characteristics that they have. And one of those characteristics is that all raptors have these sharp curved talons on their feet that they use for capturing their prey. That's where the term raptor comes from, actually, is from the Greek for to grasp. Another characteristic that makes these birds raptors is the sharp curved beak that they have. They're able to use that beak to rip their prey apart. And then the third characteristic that makes a meat-eating bird a raptor, the third characteristic that makes a meat-eating bird a raptor is its eyesight. Raptors all have excellent eyesight, so they're able to see their prey. That's the main sense that they use for finding their prey in the first place. So those are the 3 characteristics that make a meat-eating bird a raptor. They have to have good eyesight, sharp curved talons, and a sharp curved beak. There are many different species, or there are many different types of birds that we call raptors. Among them are things like hawks and owls that we normally think of, but also falcons, eagles, vultures, osprey, and several other groups of birds as well are also all known as raptors. Many of these groups of raptors are not very closely related. They're not necessarily closely related to each other. So they all have all the different groups of raptors, all the different types of birds that we call raptors have those three characteristics that we mentioned a minute ago. So we currently have here at the Bays Mountain Raptor Center, we currently have a red-shouldered hawk, two red-tailed hawks. We have a barn owl, an eastern screech owl, and a great horned owl. All of the birds that we have here at the Bays Mountain Raptor Center have been injured or are non-releasable for some reason. Most of them have been hit by cars, and so they're not able to fly very well, or they have other injuries that mean that they're not able to survive in the wild very well. So they are permanent residents here at the Bays Mountain Raptor Center. We do not actually rehabilitate the birds here. We get these birds from other facilities that do. There are lots of wildlife rehabilitators in the area and throughout the country that we work with to get these birds here, where we keep them for educational purposes. We use them for educational programs and as an exhibit here at our here at Bays Mountain Park. What are you doing there, John? What are you doing?